Hi everyone, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos that I am going to take up a topic and then based on that topic I am going to solve three problems. The difficulty of the problems increases as we go from one to the next, and these problems will be helpful to the students who are preparing for various entrance exams like CET, NEET and JEE exams. So without wasting too much time, let me introduce the first concept for this course. So the concept for today's class is PHD, which is short form for Principle of Homogeneity of Dimensions. Before we understand the principle of homogeneity of dimensions, let us first understand what do I mean by dimension. Please understand that physics is experimental science, and in any experiment you are always doing some measurement, isn't it, right? Those quantities which are measurable are called physical quantities. Now we have so many physical quantities, but the good news is all of them are not independent. Few of them are completely independent of each other. We call those quantities fundamental quantities, and the other quantities can be derived from these fundamental quantities. To give an example, you know that A, B, C, D are your fundamental letters, right? You cannot write A in terms of other letters. Similarly, you cannot write B in terms of other letters. But words are derived from these fundamental letters. Another example would be electrons, protons and neutrons are your fundamental particles, right? So based on these particles, you can derive different kind of atoms. So we have three fundamental particles, but so many kinds of atoms, right? We have hydrogen atom, carbon atom, oxygen atom, isn't it? So similarly, we have few fundamental quantities which are independent, which cannot be expressed in terms of each other, but we have many derived quantities. In order to know in a given derived quantity which fundamental quantities are present, in order to know that, we use the concept of dimensions, right? So which quantities are chosen as fundamental quantities? Well, that depends on the system of units. In SI system, there are altogether 7 fundamental quantities, but for today's class, we need to know 3 fundamental quantities which are mass, length and time. Because there is no relation for mass in terms of length and time, there is no relation for length in terms of mass and time, and there is no relation for time in terms of mass and length. So these 3 are fundamental quantities because they cannot be expressed in terms of each other. Okay, so how do we write dimension of mass? We write it as capital M with a square bracket, dimension of length capital L with square bracket, and dimension of time as capital T with square bracket. Once we decide that this is the way we will write dimension of fundamental quantities, for derived quantities we can write in terms of this tree. It is like saying, once I decide this is the way I will write A, this is the way we will write B. For words, we don't need to find a different way of writing. We can write words in terms of those letters, right? So similarly, once we decide we will write fundamental quantities this way, for derived quantities we can express them in terms of this fundamental quantities. So why do we actually need dimensions? Well, as I told you before, that letters are fundamental, right? And words are derived from letters. So don't you want to know that in a given word which fundamental letters are present, right? So similarly, we have certain fundamental quantities and other derived quantities. So you would like to know in a derived quantity which fundamental quantities are present. So that information is what is given by dimensions of a physical quantity. For example, take some derived quantities like velocity, acceleration and force. You all know velocity definition is displacement by time. So displacement is which fundamental quantity? Mass, length or time? Displacement is obviously length and time taken is t. So dimension of velocity in terms of fundamental quantities will be L t power minus 1. Isn't it? when this t will go up, it will become t power minus 1. So this is the dimension of velocity. Similarly, acceleration. We all know the formula of acceleration. Change in velocity, which is final velocity minus initial velocity divided by time taken. Now, here you try to understand one basic thing. When you subtract apples with apples, what do you get? Mangoes? No, you will get apples. So 10 apples minus 2 apples would be 8 apples only. So similarly, final velocity minus initial velocity will be which physical quantity? It will be velocity. So dimension of this change in velocity will be same as velocity, because in this we are only writing dimensions. Remember the nature of the quantities. We are not calculating value. Obviously, if you want to calculate the value of acceleration, you have to substitute the values of final velocity and initial velocity, right? But right now we are only writing the dimensions. We only want to know which fundamental quantities are present in the formula of derived quantity. So remember, change in velocity is also velocity, so dimensions will be same as velocity divided by time. So this t will go up. So as this t goes up, t power minus 1, already minus 1 is there, so t power minus 2. Then come to force. Dimension of force, how will you write? First you should know the formula. So force you all know is mass into acceleration. So mass dimension is capital M, acceleration we just wrote Lt power minus 2. So this is how we write dimensions of derived quantities. So what does this principle of homogeneity of dimensions mean? It means if you have a physical equation where the terms are physical quantities, let's say A, B and C, then each term must have same dimensions. That is what this principle means. In other words, in a simple way, what it means is if this is number of apples, then this also should be number of apples, this should be also number of apples, right? So 5 apples plus 4 apples will be 9 apples. But if you ask 5 apples plus 4 oranges, that would be a wrong question. So similarly, if this term is mass, this also should be mass and this also should be mass. So in a physical equation, all the terms must have same dimension. That is what this principle says. And of course, you could have, instead of plus, you could have a minus. The principle will still work, right? Let us solve the first problem of this topic. It says, as you can see on the screen, the dimensions of A by B in the equation P equals to A minus T square by Bx, where P is pressure, X is distance and T is time. So they have given you this equation and they are asking you dimensions of A by B. The first thing you notice that here they have mentioned A minus T square. So since this quantity is subtracted with this quantity, dimensions of those two should be same according to our concept of PhD, right? If two quantities are added or subtracted, they must have same dimensions. Please remember, apples can be subtracted from apples. Apples cannot be subtracted from mangoes. So if this is time square, this also should be time square. So immediately dimension of A will be time, matlab capital T power 2. So this is the dimension of A. Now how to find dimension of B? Well, try to rearrange this equation and I can write this equation by cross multiplying P into Bx equals A minus T square. So your B, which is the unknown quantity, would be A minus T square divided by Px. Now if you notice, the dimension of B will be same as dimension of this term, right? Because these two quantities are equal, so dimensions should be equal. Now the numerator, we know that this is time square, this is also time square. So the numerator will have dimensions of T power 2, right? Now pressure. Pressure is defined by the formula force by area. So what would be the dimension of pressure? Well, force is mass into acceleration. Acceleration dimension we write Lt power minus 2. Area is L power 2. So one L gets cancelled. So this L goes up. It will become M L minus 1 T minus 2. So the dimension of pressure is M L minus 1 T minus 2. And X they told is nothing but distance. So it will be L. You can see here L minus 1 and plus L will cancel. T minus 2 will go up. So it will become T power 4 and this M will go up. So I can write M minus 1. So what is the dimension of this quantity B? M power minus 1 T power 4. But remember they asked you to find the dimension of this ratio. So what is the dimension of A we found? T power 2. And dimension of B is M minus 1 T power 4. Now when you take this M minus 1 up, it will become M power plus 1, right? Plus 1, actually no need to write. And this T power 4 will go up. It will become T power minus 4. Here there is T power 2. So when this will go up, it will become T power minus 4. So T power 2 minus 4, which is T power minus 2. So T power minus 2. So this would be the right option, which is which quantity? M T power minus 2 would be option A. Let's see the second problem of this topic. If force capital F, velocity V and time capital T are considered as fundamental quantities, then what would be the dimensional formula for mass? Now some of you may get confused. Usually we choose mass, length and time as fundamental quantity and we take force as derived quantity, isn't it? However students, we can always select any three quantities which cannot be written in terms of each other, we can choose as fundamental. So here they have asked you to take force, velocity and time as fundamental. Now can we do that? Yes, we can do, because force cannot be written in terms of velocity and time, right? Because force, if you know the formula, is ma. So force needs mass also. So since mass is not included here, force cannot be written in terms of velocity and time. Similarly, velocity cannot be written in terms of force and time. And time cannot be written in terms of force and velocity. So we can always have a system of units in which force is fundamental, velocity is fundamental. But now which one will not be fundamental? Now mass will not be fundamental and length will not be fundamental quantity. So they are asking you what would be the dimension of mass in terms of these three quantities. That means we need to write mass in terms of force power some number which we have to calculate, velocity power some number which we need to calculate, and time power some number which we need to calculate, right? So usually, again let me tell you, in SI system mass, length and time are considered as fundamental. But remember, we can always choose three quantities which cannot be written in terms of each other as fundamental, and then we can find the dimensions of other quantities in terms of these three. That is what we are asked in the second question. Once we write this, now we will equate the dimensions. So capital M is capital M. Force, how we write the dimension? ml t minus 2, right? Mass into acceleration power x. V is velocity. How is that? What is the dimension? L t minus 1 power y, and t means just capital T power z. So this equation we need to just solve. So on the left hand side we have mass, on the right hand side this is m power x, L power x, here L power y, so L power x plus y, t power minus 2x, here t power minus y, and here t power z. So you know that the powers should be added, isn't it? T power minus 2x, t power minus y, and t power z. So powers should be added. So minus 2x minus y plus z. Now you equate the powers. So if you look, what is the power of mass here? X. What is the power of mass here? 1. So x must be equal to 1. That means this number must be 1. Next, what is the power of L here? X plus y. What is the power of L here? There is no L, so power of L is 0. So x plus y must be equal to 0. Right? So if you substitute this x here, this will be 1 plus y equal to 0. So y will be 1 will go this side minus 1. So x we found, y we found. Now we need to find this z. Right? So look at the power of t. Power of t is minus 2x minus y plus z on the right hand side. On the left hand side, what is the power of t? There is no t, so power will be equal to 0. Now x and y we found. X is 1, substitute here 1, right, into 1. Y is minus 1, substitute here minus 1. Then what will we get? This is minus 2. This minus plus 1 plus z equal to 0. Minus 2 plus 1 minus 1, that will go on the other side. So z will be equal to plus 1, isn't it? So x we got 1, y we got minus 1, z we got 1. So mass in terms of force, velocity and time, what it will be? X will be 1, y will be minus 1 and z will be plus 1. So this would be the right option. If you see the options, then the right option is v minus 1, f power 1, t power 1, right? So option C is the right one. Now there is a shortcut method to solve the previous problem. If you remember, they told this tree to be fundamental and we want the dimension of mass. Now usually we should put the dimensions of force, velocity, time and mass and then solve the equations to find x, y and z. That is the normal procedure, right? However, in some cases, you may already know formula for this tree. You may already know a formula which connects this tree. Then if you think carefully, you already know that F equal to ma. And A, you know, will have velocity, change in velocity by time, isn't it? So, they want you to write dimension of mass, right? So, bring mass on the left hand side. So if you cross multiply, it will be force into T divided by V minus U. Right? Check once. If you cross multiply, M into V minus U, force into time. So I cross multiply T here and V minus U I bring downstairs. Now if you look the dimension of mass in terms of force F, time T and change in velocity is nothing but velocity dimensionally. So these dimensions of this will be V according to the question because they have chosen V as fundamental. So this is velocity, right? Velocity minus velocity is also velocity, remember. So dimension of this will be V, that V will go up, so it will become V minus 1. So immediately you can see that your F power is 1, your V power is minus 1 and your T power is plus 1. So if you know such formulas between the given fundamental quantities, then you can easily derive this way. But if you don't know, then you have to do the way which we discussed in the previous question, right? Let us see the last question of this topic. This question is taken from JEE Advanced 2014. The question says, to find the distance D over which a signal can be seen clearly in foggy conditions, a railway engineer uses dimensional analysis and assumes that the distance D depends on the density of the fog, the intensity I of the light from the signal and frequency. The engineer finds that the distance D is proportional to I, which is intensity, power 1 by n. The value of n is, that value of n we need to calculate. So they are saying that the distance the signal travels. So let us assume this is your fog and there is a signal which is transmitted from here, and you know due to the fog the signal gets absorbed. So the engineer is assuming that how far the signal will travel, the distance is dependent on three factors: density, intensity of the signal, and frequency of the signal. They are saying density is proportional to intensity power 1 by n. This n we need to calculate. Fine. Now students, whenever we know that a quantity depends on these quantities, dimensionally it means D is proportional, depends matlab it is proportional. But what is the power? That we don't know. So it is proportional to density power, let's assume x. Intensity power, let's assume y. And frequency power, let's assume z. So in exam they could ask you any of the three, or sometimes they could ask you all the three, x, y and z. Here if you notice, we need to calculate only y, because we need to find the power of this intensity. Once I know this power, I can find n, isn't it? Okay. Now let us use principle of homogeneity of dimensions. This side and this side should have same dimension, isn't it? So dimension of D is L, and on the right hand side, dimension of density will be mass by volume. Mass will be capital M divided by volume. Volume will be L cube, which will go up, so it will become L power minus 3 power x. Intensity. Now to find the dimension of intensity, you should know formula for intensity. The formula is energy by area divided by time. So this is the formula for intensity. Energy can be further found from the formula of, either you can use kinetic energy formula, half mv square. So let me write half mv square. So let's write the dimensions. Energy dimension, half is a pure number. So pure numbers do not have dimensions, right? When you study 1, 2, 3 in your nursery days or your class 1 days, you don't say 1 kg, 2 kg, 3 kg, right? So those 1, 2, 3 are dimensionless numbers. So this half is a pure number, it doesn't have any dimension. This is mass, so capital M. Velocity is Lt minus 1, square is there, so it will be L2 t power minus 2. So this would be the dimension of energy. Divided by area, so area will be L square, because area would be length into breadth. So length dimension and breadth dimension both are length. So length into length will be length square, and time is t. So this L square gets cancelled, t will go up, so it will become m t power minus 3. So this would be the dimension of intensity. So substitute here m t power minus 3 power y. And frequency, definition of frequency is 1 by time period. So dimension will be 1 by time period. So frequency as defined as 1 by time period. So dimension of frequency will be t power minus 1. So t power minus 1 power z. Fine. So now on the left side you have L, on the right side this is m power x, m power y, so m power x plus y. Here L power minus 3x, L power minus 3x, there is no L, so minus 3x. And t power, here there is no t, this is minus 3y, and here minus 1 into z, so minus z, right? So now we need to equate the powers. So x plus y would be equal to, the power of mass is x plus y, here there is no mass, so x plus y would be 0. So this is the first equation. Then if you look here, the power of L is minus 3x and power of L here is 1. Okay. Now don't try to find power of t and equate, no need, because we need to find this, which means we need to find this y. So we don't need to find z and we don't need to find x. Don't waste your time unnecessarily in your entrance exam. So since we already know from here x is equal to 1 by minus 3, right? Substitute this x here. So if you substitute here, y will be what? 1 by 3, isn't it? Because x is minus 1 by 3, so that minus 1 by 3 will go this side, so it will become 1 by 3. That means this y is 1 by 3. Isn't it, students? So the density would be proportional to intensity power y. Y we found 1 by 3. But they told in the question 1 by n. So this n must be 3. Right? So therefore your n is equal to 3. So this would be the right answer.